Also, I don't know how much longer Cathy has her job. Regardless of if you think the things that Cathy said are okay or not, in any business, have you ever seen someone be under fire so much as Cathy is and just keep their job? There's no way. It's also the timing just, I guess, couldn't be better or worse, however you want to.
So, get this. The WNBA just got a wake-up call, but it felt more like an earthquake. Reports are saying Cathy Engelbert is in total panic mode right now. Why? Because Caitlin Clark, the league's biggest star, dropped a subtle hint that she might actually leave basketball for the LPGA. Can you imagine? Their golden tickets, swinging a golf club instead of shooting hoops? That's a commissioner's worst nightmare. So is this rumor even real? Or is it just the WNBA's biggest fear finally coming true?
That Caitlin should be grateful for the money that she makes off the court. If Cathy truly feels that Caitlin should be grateful for her and grateful for the WNBA for her off-season league money, which, by the way, Caitlin had a lot of endorsement deals before she even came to the WNBA. If that is how she feels about Caitlin and it's not the reverse, not Cathy being grateful for Caitlin, that is so eye-opening.
Let's talk about the total meltdown happening inside the WNBA offices right now. Apparently, everyone's walking on eggshells, and Cathy Engelbert is leading the nervous charge. The reason? Caitlin Clark, the player who single-handedly brought life back to ticket sales, viewership, and made the WNBA relevant again, is now being linked to the LPGA. Yeah, we're talking about golf here.
I wanted to come say hi and introduce myself. I play out here on tour. I'm Maria. Thank you for being out here. It's very cool what you're doing for sports, kicking ass on and off the field. But now,
and here's the Caitlin Clark effect, Morgan, with Maria Fossey and other players out here following.
That's good. A lot of fun. Made it easy. Annika, could I steal you for a second? I don't think I'll have like bigger. I can't say bad stuff on TV, but badasses once together. We're doing a fun like quickie on that side. There we go. Yeah. I'm next. Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
I mean, I said it, the buzz from the players
over here, so I'm distracting you.
For weeks.
No, y'all are trying to get
has
finished.
been huge.
Somebody take this picture.
By the way, Allie, an outstanding point guard in her own right in Fulton, Mississippi. All state.
Thanks for being here. Yeah. Good luck.
Now, before you roll your eyes and think this is just some silly off-season rumor, hear me out. Caitlin has actually been publicly connected to golf for a while. She's played in events, even shared the course with huge names like Nelly Korda. And get this, she was invited back for another LPGA tournament just this fall. It's not just talk.
Thank you. Caitlin Clark brought her golf game to the LPGA Tour today, playing in a Pro-Am that attracted a bigger crowd than the Tour often gets. Clark played at the back nine at Pelican Golf Club with...
Every single time Caitlin shows up on the golf course, the crowds get bigger, the media coverage explodes, and those golf executives are practically beaming. Now think about that, and then look at the WNBA's current mess, constant drama with the refs, players who aren't happy, and a commissioner who just can't seem to get a clue. So, it's really no shock that people are starting to whisper about Caitlin looking for a new place to play. Let's be real here. Caitlin doesn't need the WNBA anymore. The WNBA absolutely needs her. She's why arenas are selling out, why jerseys are flying off shelves, why sponsors are even returning calls. Yet, under Cathy Engelbert's leadership, the league has treated her like a problem instead of the blessing she is. From day one, how Caitlin was treated on the court became a huge national topic. All those hard fouls, the silence from the officials, and the commissioner's classic "everything's fine" response. Sure, Cathy Engelbert called it physical basketball, but fans saw it for what it truly was: clear targeting and favoritism. So, when Caitlin showed up on the golf course, smiling, looking relaxed, and totally enjoying herself, people really noticed. The contrast was honestly painful to see. Golf treated her like royalty, but the WNBA seemed to treat her like just another headline they needed to control. And that's exactly where this rumor really started to get legs. Insiders are saying the panic in the WNBA offices is super real. because Cathy Engelbert knows exactly what losing Caitlin Clark would mean. It wouldn't just be a bad look, it would genuinely be the end of her career. Without Caitlin, the WNBA's ratings would just tank faster than a bad putt on wet grass. And the timing makes it even worse, because the CBA negotiations are already a mess. Owners are furious, and players are losing patience. You add Caitlin potentially leaving to that whole situation, and you've got a public relations explosion bigger than any three-pointer she's ever hit.
Cathy Engelbert needs to resign. I am disheartened about how Nafisha characterized our conversation at league leadership. That's all you've got? You gotta go. That's a weak-ass response. I'm gonna say it one more time. That's a weak-ass response. You are the commissioner of the league. This young lady, Nafisha Collier, who's been runner-up for MVP twice, who's clearly a face and a star in the league, who's universally respected, called you out. She said, you're dismissive. She talked about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and how your comments were that they were lucky to be in the league. They should be grateful for the money that they're getting. They should be on their knees thanking the... What? What? And that's the response that you give? What kind of defense is that? Was she lying? Cathy Engelbert? Did you say that about Caitlin Clark or did you not? Did you say that about Angel Reese or did you not? Did you act that way towards Nafisha Collier or did you not? When you somebody that really has power to flex, folks don't talk about you that way on platforms like that. They might say it privately. Hell, they might say it to your face privately. They don't say it publicly because that would be you know what. She didn't care. And I have not heard one single WNBA player come speak to the defense of Cathy Engelbert. She has to go. You can't be representing players. They don't respect her and they don't feel respected by her. We reached out and offered her an invitation to come and explain herself and explain if she really wanted to comment. And if so, why hasn't she commented more forcefully already? We heard she was not available because she's doing the NBA Finals. I'm sorry, I didn't know she was covering it. I didn't know she didn't have time to get on the phone for 10 minutes and have a conversation. My bad. That's her decision.
Cathy Engelbert is already taking a ton of heat for pretty much everything she's touched, from all the referee chaos to player salaries and even how she deals with the media. People she's supposed to be leading have called her tone-deaf, condescending, and totally out of touch. And now, rumors about Caitlin Clark possibly leaving are just exploding all over social media. Fans aren't buying the "it's just a fun tournament" excuse anymore either. They've seen how happy Caitlin looks with a golf club, and they've definitely seen how miserable she looked getting body checked without a whistle in the WNBA. The whole picture is just brutal. You can almost picture Cathy Engelbert right now, scrolling through her phone, seeing Caitlin Clark, LPGA trending, and just screaming inside. Because this isn't just some rumor. It's about what that rumor really represents.
Flying off the racks. Caitlin was signing a few autographs. I mean, she's a larger-than-life.
If Caitlin even just flirts with another sport, it really highlights how poorly the WNBA has treated its biggest star. It shows a league that should be empowering its players, but instead, it's pushed them to look elsewhere for respect. And that's totally what's driving all this panic. Now, you might be thinking, is Caitlin Clark really gonna leave for golf? Probably not right away. But the fact that it's even believable tells you everything about how bad things have gotten inside the WNBA. Think about it. When was the last time you heard a male athlete rumored to leave his league because of bad leadership? Exactly. This is a direct reflection of the mess Cathy Engelbert has created. Players are unhappy, fans are angry, sponsors are uneasy, and now the one person keeping the league relevant is being wooed by a sport that actually treats her with respect. Honestly, it's hard to blame Caitlin if she's tempted. The LPGA literally rolled out the red carpet for her last year, front row coverage. Adoring fans, zero drama. The golf community embraced her like the superstar she is, while her own league acted like she was just another rookie with a good shot. It's just embarrassing. Caitlin Clark has done more for women's sports in 2 years than most executives do in a lifetime. But instead of protecting her, the WNBA allowed her to be targeted on the court and mocked off it. When you lose the respect of your star player, you've pretty much lost the league. And that's the nightmare scenario Cathy Engelbert is facing. Sources inside the league say her meetings have gotten super tense. There's a ton of damage control, a lot of fake smiles, and phrases like strategic planning and player relations enhancement. Translation: full-blown panic mode. Because here's the thing, even if Caitlin Clark never actually leaves the WNBA, the idea that she could is devastating enough. It exposes everything wrong with how the league operates. For years, the WNBA was begging for a mainstream superstar. They finally get one, and instead of building around her, they alienate her. It's like finding gold and then just throwing it back because you don't like the color. Meanwhile, the LPGA is just watching this disaster unfold and smiling. They see a marketable, beloved athlete with a massive fan base and a natural interest in golf. They see opportunity, and you know who else sees it? Sponsors. Gainbridge already has ties with Caitlin through WNBA team partnerships and LPGA events. They'd happily support her transition if it happened. Why wouldn't they? She sells out arenas and gets millions of views with every highlight clip. She could turn a random golf tournament into a trending event overnight. And that's what scares Cathy Engelbert the most. Because if Caitlin Clark can walk into another sport and instantly boost its popularity, then maybe she was never the one needing the WNBA after all. So now that this rumor has just spread like wildfire, let's talk about what happened next. The fans, the media, the players, everyone suddenly realized what the WNBA could actually lose if Caitlin Clark even teed off one more time on that golf course. Social media just lit up overnight. The hashtag #CaitlinToLPGA started trending within hours. Some people were joking, some were half serious, and others were straight up begging her not to leave. But the one person who definitely wasn't laughing was Cathy Engelbert. Because for Cathy, this isn't just another rumor, it's a direct threat to her already shaky reputation. She's been trying to convince everyone that the league is stronger than ever. But one golf swing from Caitlin Clark is enough to make that whole narrative just crumble. Behind closed doors, league insiders say the panic meetings started immediately. PR teams were scrambling to figure out how to respond. One exec reportedly said, "We can't let this become a story." Too late, it already was. By the time the sports networks picked it up, Cathy Engelbert's name was trending again, right next to Caitlin Clark. And let's be honest, those two names together never mean good news for the commissioner. Every time they appear in the same headline, it's because Cathy said something out of touch, and Caitlin did something brilliant. And this time was no different. People started comparing how the LPGA treats its athletes versus how the WNBA does. Spoiler alert, it wasn't flattering for the basketball league. The LPGA literally built an event around celebrating Caitlin Clark's appearance.
We know what it takes. Mindset, standard, accountability, every single possession. We control what we can control. We attack one possession at a time with discipline and details. Lots of energy. Okay, lots of energy. We know when you're tired, ask for a break, somebody else is going to come in and they're going to lift us up, right? Trust one another. Continue to build trust in one another. Play hard for one another. Okay? Everything we do is for the person beside us. All right? Let's go out there and play free. Have some fun. Go.
Probably drafting another. And we are underway. Aaliyah taps it back to Caitlin and dish up ahead, and Giroux lays it in. 2-0 Dallas. Finds Lexi in the corner. Extra. Caitlin deep one left wing from downtown and her town. 3-2 Beaver. As Giroux now makes a baseline jumper 15 feet away. Caitlin pushes left to right. Backdoor cut to Kelsey, who lays it in right in the rim. Page has it. Bounce pass. Cookies into Cookie Monster shoes. Caitlin lays it in left side. Well, Dallas spreads the floor. Clearly rise and fire. Cans a left wing three. Offensive rebound near the Fever bench. Reset. Becker's deep one left side. Book it. So through the first 10 minutes, it's the Fever 28, the Wings 27.
You gotta be better.
Caitlin attacking, has a lane, bounce pass, Taj, easy two. Outlet, to Kelsey, left elbow, skip pass, Sophie drives, wide open, lays it in, tic-tac-toe.
Clark the flick ahead, oh, beautifully done, touchdown Fever.
Around an AB screen to the right elbow, bounce pass, AB at the foul line, fires, Osh, left baseline, jabs, drives, and scores on a reverse, left to right. 10-point Fever lead, Howard runs the floor, wide open, scores. Right baseline, driving, exploding, and scoring around the 6'7" Uru. Mitchell the rebound, outlet, left sideline, McDonald to the cutting Howard, who scores, left to the basket, 49-33. It's all Fever with under 4 to go in the first half. Handoff at the foul line, back to Boston, mini angled right, money! Fever up by 20, 55-35.
Here comes Indiana, Clark back in, off the hole, catch, fire, you bet!
A historic first half for the Fever. Indiana puts up 64 points, the most in franchise history and a half here in season 26. And it's a 22-point lead on Dallas. Kelsey to Caitlin, right corner near the Fever bench, guarded by Quinterly. Caitlin backing her down. Post work. Caitlin, right elbow, step back jumper. Got it! To left, handoff Kelsey, left arc. Kelsey, a little shake. Pick and roll with AP, and she buries it from in front of the foul line. 72-44. Caitlin, touchdown pass to Kelsey, who lays it in on the left side.
Huge contributions up and down. Colson, connects. A little cherry on top for Indiana.
Now you know the Fever have won 2 in a row. Final score, Fever 102, Wings 83. And the Fever flourish at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in front of a sellout crowd.
Look, when Caitlin shows up at an LPGA event, the organizers act like total royalty has arrived. But when she shows up at a WNBA game, the refs act like they didn't even see the foul. That contrast is so clear, it's honestly painful. And to be frank, the WNBA totally did this to themselves. Instead of embracing the moment and building around their biggest star, they just tried to control her. They tried to balance the narrative so other players wouldn't feel overshadowed. But here's the thing, you can't balance reality. Caitlin Clark is the reason people care. It's that simple. Now, the same commissioner who brushed off all the fans' concerns is watching those exact same fans cheer for Caitlin somewhere else. And you know that has to sting. This is what happens when leadership is so out of touch that they don't even realize how fragile their success really is. You can't take credit for growth you didn't create. You can't alienate the player who made you relevant and then expect everything to just stay the same. But Cathy Engelbert is learning that the hard way. And to make things even worse, the LPGA knows exactly how to capitalize on this. They've already started hinting at long-term collaborations, new brand deals, and special celebrity appearances. Every time Caitlin Clark's name gets attached to golf, their social numbers just skyrocket. They don't have to do a thing except let the WNBA keep making mistakes. Meanwhile, Cathy Engelbert is probably prepping her next "We Value Our Players" speech, while the owners are busy putting together her replacement list. Because let's be real, if this rumor keeps growing, someone will have to take the blame. And it's not going to be Caitlin Clark. Even within the NBA offices, there's reportedly some serious frustration. Adam Silver is getting tired of seeing WNBA controversy trending every other week. He was supposed to be overseeing the league's growth, not its slow-motion collapse. And guess whose name keeps coming up in those meetings? Yeah, Cathy Engelbert. She's honestly the only person in professional sports who could take a golden era and somehow turn it into a crisis meeting. So now she's stuck in the absolute worst position possible, trying to convince the public that everything's fine while her own league is openly questioning her leadership. And the best part, Caitlin Clark doesn't even have to say a word. She just has to show up at a golf course and post a smile on Instagram. That's enough to send Cathy into another round of strategic discussions. The power dynamic has completely flipped. The player holds all the cards now, the commissioner is playing defense. And honestly, it's kind of poetic, because for years, players were told to be grateful for their platform. Now, the platform is literally praying that the players don't leave. The truth is simple. The WNBA needed Caitlin Clark way more than Caitlin Clark ever needed the WNBA. And Cathy Engelbert is finally facing the consequences of forgetting that. So what happens next? If history is any indicator, we're heading for a showdown. The owners are going to demand accountability. The players are going to push for change. And they'll keep watching to see if the league finally figures out how to protect its stars instead of driving them away. But one thing's for sure, Cathy Engelbert cannot afford another public relations disaster. Because this time, she won't be able to spin it as growth pain. Everyone knows exactly what this is: leadership failure. And if Caitlin Clark ever decides to trade her basketball shoes for golf cleats full-time, that failure will become a permanent mark in history.